Stephen Staples is the director of the Rideau Institute on International Affairs, which is an Ottawa-based think tank. He joins me tonight from the nation's capital with more on this. Hi there, good to see you.
Hi, Marcia.
So Hamid Karzai is being praised for agreeing to another election, but did he really have any other choice?
Well, President Karzai is a cat with 9 lives. I mean, he continues to maintain power there. The photos of him with John Kerry and U.S. officials, it was just remarkable after, considering that the Electoral Complaints Commission just basically showed overwhelming proof that Karzai had stuffed ballot boxes on an unbelievable scale, his campaign has, as well as other sides, but particularly President Karzai. Now, at one point, he was threatening to not, because the Independent Elections Commission, which is stacked with Karzai supporters, may have rejected the findings of the Electoral Complaints Commission, but he had to back down and avoid a showdown with Western forces. Of course, his government is absolutely dependent on Western forces in order to maintain power, so he probably didn't have much of a choice and has to go through with it, despite what he'd rather not.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned he's a cat with 9 lives. Why does the Western world appear to have so much faith in Karzai, and committed faith?
Well, it's because Western forces are absolutely desperate to have some kind of legitimate government in place in Kabul. And maybe in some ways it's, better the devil you know, because Karzai has been making deals with warlords for many years now, and the fact that this election was so obviously rigged just made it impossible for anyone to turn a blind eye to it. But the fact is, we've heard Canadian officials and U.S. officials have said that they absolutely need some sort of legitimate partner. Otherwise, why are we sending thousands of troops into Afghanistan and spending billions of dollars, putting our soldiers' lives at risk to defend a government that doesn't have legitimacy? So they're really hoping that this runoff election will try to erase the August debacle and try to come up with some sort of legitimate government.
And we heard that Afghan man say it in Janice's piece. It could happen again. What do you think? Is there a chance that we're just going to see a repeat of what happened in August?
There probably is a very good chance that this will happen. Voter turnout will undoubtedly be very low. As the report pointed out, people overcame many threats from insurgent groups and from the Taliban, who warned them away from polls. Although a lot of that violence that was predicted before the August election did not materialize, and in fact, in some ways you could say that the electoral candidates did the Taliban's job for them by discrediting the election from their own fraudulent activities. But now we've got this runoff happening. We probably won't have the same level of electoral monitoring that we had in August, as minimal even as that was. So it's different. We may not find ourselves in a better situation than we are right now.
One last point I wanted to ask you about. The U.S. has said that they won't commit any more troops until there is a legitimate government. We heard that today. Do you think that they've done a wise thing by postponing their decision?
I think so, and in fact, this was kind of handed, I think, to the Obama administration. General McChrystal's request for 40, maybe 60,000 troops, as some reports have indicated, more U.S. troops to be sent to Afghanistan. The Obama administration is very reluctant, very cautious about getting drawn into this war any further, and President Obama, I think, has very rightly said that we can't commit more troops until we know we have a legitimate government in place there. Whether that's even possible to have a legitimate government in Afghanistan, I think, is still an open question, and we'll just have to see how this unfolds with this runoff scheduled for November 7th.
All right, we'll be watching. Stephen Staples, great analysis. Appreciate your time on this one tonight.
My pleasure.
Good night.